All right, everybody, it's recording now. Tonight, this is Steve from PNP News. We got Jonathan from Bankai. That's his YouTube channel. And then we got David, News Now Houston, and Bunny Boots from David from Bunny Boots Inc. Y'all have probably seen, most of y'all have probably seen the Tyrant alert. So that's what this is about. And Jonathan, tell them what town and kind of give us a brief explanation of what happened.
It's Fulton, Mississippi. I was just going to shoot some video and catch a couple of background shots. And just walked through the, I had done the post office and a lady came out and talked to me there. No problems, no worries. Went over, walked through the courthouse, got the memorial and just some background shots. Come out the other side of the courthouse, and over to the park. Was like, if anything goes on, like that's pretty much a good place to be because they've got security cameras everywhere. So I decided to go make a right, go down the block, go get a couple of shots of the police department. It's a nice, pretty building. And then saw an inmate outside washing a police cruiser. I was like, look, here's a chance to get a nice, shiny black Itawamba County cruiser. So I'm going to go take a look and go see if I can catch a couple of shots. And the rest tells the story.
Okay. So I had a lot of subscribers today that were calling. I mean, a lot.
I bet.
Oh, you have no idea. Unless you've been there, and I've been inside when they were getting calls, you have no idea what it is like. It is unbelievable. The phone rings and it never stops. But so some of the subscribers got through, some of them, not so much the sheriff's department, but to the county supervisor who called the sheriff. And then the county supervisor actually got back with a couple of people. And what they said was that you had been in the park wearing a black trench coat, taking pictures of little children. Okay. And is that true or false?
That's false. I don't even own a black trench coat.
Okay.
And I have the bag.
Yeah, I kind of figured. I'll get to that in just a second. Okay. And then the other thing was, they said that you had a previous warrant for your arrest and that one of the deputies recognized you, and that's why you were arrested. Now, from what I saw in the video, I didn't see any sign of recognition in any of them, but you said that you did have a previous warrant from like 10 years ago?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
and
so they didn't know who you were. They didn't figure it out until they took you in, printed you, and ran you through APHIS.
Actually, they didn't know who I was until I was inside and I was sitting down and they were filling out my medical questionnaire. And then the jailer comes around the corner, not the one that you see in the video, the jailer that actually works inside.
Yeah.
She comes around the corner and she's like, hey, I know you. And I was like, yes, ma'am, you do. I told you I didn't want to be back here again. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. So what these police departments, they've always controlled the narrative. And so what they do is when they get caught with their hand in the cookie jar is they lie. And in the past, they've gotten away with that. But as time has gone on, we have video and the video doesn't lie. And so they still don't know how to handle that. And we've seen it. I dealt with it myself early on when I was arrested by the Harris County Sheriff's Department. The first thing they did was start lying, and then we put the video out, and then what could they do but retract it? And so that's what we're seeing with them is they're telling every lie they can come up with to try and cover their ass. Okay. And I knew it was all bull when I heard it. You can see in the deputies, you can see that they do not know who you are. They do not recognize you. When they do, because I've been there, I've been in these situations, and when those deputies or those police officers know who you are, okay, they're going to call you by name or let you know because they think that gives them power. And nobody did that here. And looking at their faces, they did not know who you are. They're repeatedly asking you who you are. So I knew it was bull when they said it. So what were you charged? You had a previous arrest in, you said 2008, 2009?
Yes, sir.
What was that charge?
Driving on suspended license.
Okay. And then they went ahead and arrested you this time, and what did they charge you with?
Disorderly conduct.
Okay, and again, and I knew that was what it was going to be, because what they do in Mississippi, and I've been getting this for a while now, ever since my last visit, was they're not a stop and ID state, so they cannot force you to ID. But what they do is it's basically a contempt of cop charge is interfering or disorderly conduct or resisting arrest. They always use these, and they'll I gotta watch my language here. They'll snowball their way through it, just to have a reason to arrest you. And in Mississippi, they're using that or misusing that disorderly conduct law. And unfortunately, the lower courts have let them get away with it for a while now. And until somebody challenges it and takes it into the higher courts, they're going to continue to misuse it and get away with it. And I'm planning a trip to Mississippi. I'm not sure when, but after the first of the year. So we may be getting that law challenged here pretty quick.
All right, Bunny Boots, you got anything you want to chime in with?
Is my sound working? Okay, good.
Yes.
I was doing quick adjustments here. Okay, well, the thing is there is multiple federal case law violations here, not just with the Turner v. Driver. I'm looking here at a Brown v. Texas, which is 1979. That actually deals with the stop and identify statutes that were present in Texas at that time period. We are looking, of course, at the Terry v. Ohio. Terry v. Ohio was that year, 1968. And a better one, Hayes v. Florida, 1985, where there was no probable cause to arrest petitioner, no consent to the journey to the police station, no prior judicial authoritarian for detaining him. The investigation detention at the station for fingerprinting purposes violated petitioner's rights under the Fourth Amendment. Now, that was a SCOTUS case right there. So this looks like a pretty much an open and shut case for a civil rights lawsuit, just on the grounds, because I watched the video myself just not even an hour and a half ago. And I listened and I looked at it, and there was nothing that was going on that I could see warranting an arrest. Did they charge you with anything officially?
Disorderly conduct.
Just disorderly conduct. Yes, yeah, I saw nothing that could be considered as disorderly conduct from the video. You handled yourself pretty well, especially for someone that's being very new to this, because you've only been doing some videos for, what, about a month?
Actually, I've done 2. I walked around Tupelo for about 4 hours, and then I walked around Fulton for about 45 minutes.
Yeah, well, I got to say you did pretty good for being, brand new on the scene and all that stuff. I know people people do have their criticisms on the way you did it, but the thing is you're new. You handled things very well, especially for being fresh on the scene and only having a few other videos that have been done in the past.
And let me interject something real quick.
Go ahead.
People that have never been out there and done this have no clue what it's like to be under the gun, under the pressure, in that situation. So a lot of people are quick to criticize, and myself, I take that criticism and I look for the constructive criticism, and I try to utilize that. Okay, but there are going to be people that will attack you and talk bad about you. But here's what I tell every new activist: if the situation gets weird, follow your instincts, and if your instincts tell you to ID and back off, then just do it. Better that than to end up on the wrong end of some stupid charge. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, you back down a little too late. But you got to pick your battles, and like I said, if it seems like it's going wrong and you're not sure, call it quits and go on about your business. Live to fight another day.
That's what I'm saying. I was leaving. I was on my way out. I had got my shot. I was like, okay, these guys are getting hot. They're already upset. It's like, hey, bro, let's go. Let's just cut through the park. So if anything happens, at least there's video surveillance in the park. Now, everybody gives me a hard time because I let them frisk me. That was my idea. Yeah, the only reason that I did that was to make sure that I wasn't going to freaking get shot.
Right.
For not,
right.
For
I saw that deputy with his hand on his gun, just itching for some reason to pull
I
it.
was
saw that.
nervous.
Yeah.
But don't
That
blame
was my legit first police encounter with them.
Yeah.
Have you been in the military before?
No.
No.
I tried.
Well, I saw you had an ACU shirt on. Do yourself a favor. Lose the ACU shirt. Okay. That reflective vest thing, that is awesome. That is great. Okay, nobody can claim you're hiding, but lose the ACU shirt if you ever have to go to court.
Cold.
I understand. I understand it. Hey, in Texas, every other person wears camo. Okay, but if I wear it, the police use it, and oh no, you're trying to camouflage yourself, even though I got a bright orange vest on. That's what I'm saying. It's just lose the camo, dude.
Yeah. The police officers look like they're ready for combat come out and say it's suspicious behavior because David's got a camo jacket on or.
Well, see, that's why I submitted to the Terry frisk to begin with. It's like, okay, look. Y'all are already in a bad mood. I don't want to make you any madder than you already are. I just want to get my shot, and I want to carry about my Mary.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Chances are, on the criminal aspect, you most likely are not going to be afforded a civil defender because it's a misdemeanor. I think, most likely the disturbing the peace or whatever is going to be a misdemeanor case. I haven't even had a chance to do a thorough lookup because I just learned about this 2 hours ago. But chances are it's a misdemeanor under 6 months jail time kind of thing, so you'd have to defend yourself on this case if it actually went to trial. Though I suspect with all the video evidence itself, the prosecutor would probably be very hesitant to push an actual criminal case on this and most likely drop it. Nonetheless, I do recommend if this goes beyond you putting in your I'm trying to remember where you put in your plea arraignment, where you do not guilty kind of thing. One of the first things you should seek from the prosecutor's office is a Brady list, which literally stems from a case law case. I have to pull that up here in a second, the specific. But what the Brady list is a list of all the police officers that are in the department that have a history of perjuring themselves on the stand. And just having your hands on that list is going to be very important because it can do one of two things. It can either show that you're going to be very serious and make the prosecutor even more worried about the case, or it will it'll allow you to at least have a bunch of possible evidence of the officers that might be involved with your case that could be perjuring themselves or will end up perjuring themselves on the stand, where you can make sure they end up on that list in the future.
And what's that called again?
A Brady list. If you give me a few minutes here, I can pull it up.
Well, while he's doing that, do you have a GoFundMe account or?
No, sir, I don't. I was just talking to my roommate about that a minute ago that I guess I need to go ahead and set that up.
I would do that after we get off of here and get it done. Because we can help you raise money. And you get enough attention now.
Don't put in the description on the GoFundMe that it's for lawyer fees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the GoFundMe, they don't let you use their account to pay for lawyers and defense.
Well, a correction on all that.
Yeah, there is a little bit of correction. Go ahead and explain it better.
Okay, the way GoFundMe is, the way they argue it is you're not supposed to use that platform to raise money for a legal defense case. Now, if you're trying to push a civil case, then they're okay with that, according to their terms of service. Also, on the whole raising money for a legal defense case, they are wishy-washy on that one. In fact, I called them out. Me and a few other people called GoFundMe out a while back on their platform about that issue because they allowed a person who shot down a drone to raise money for a legal defense case involving that. I don't know why. It was a clear violation, but they decided to go ahead and let it, despite the fact there was about, I think, almost 50 or more people that ended up reporting that specific GoFundMe for violating their terms. Because I've seen other people try to raise money for defense, legal defenses, and they get shut down, especially when it involves civil rights. But nonetheless, the specific case I'm referring to is Brady v. Maryland, 1963. And the quick wiki brief on this case that established the prosecution must turn over all evidence that might exonerate the defendant to the defense. And the prosecution failed to do so for Brady when he was convicted. Brady challenged his conviction, arguing that it had been contrary to his due process clause of the Fourth Amendment. I do recommend reading through that one. It's got some pretty interesting twists involved with that specific legal case if you have a chance to. But since you are going to be most likely handling this case on the defense side on your own, research is always important. So this way you're at least well-informed and you know at least what arguments you can make if you have to represent yourself. When it comes down to the civil side of going on the offensive to push back on this, chances are you're going to have to look around. I don't know if there's going to be any people around, any lawyers in your specific area that's going to be willing to take a civil rights case, in which case you're going to want to try to at least get a hold of the ACLU in your state. And they're going to be really iffy. I think they probably would take up your case, but it's hard to say. It depends on how much resources they got and how much time they have available. The other option is to get a hold of the bar for your state. They have usually almost every single state that I know of has some sort of bar lawyer referral program that can allow you to try to look up, help refer you to a specific lawyer to get a consultation about your case. There may be, they may have reduced fees for a consultation for like a half hour. Some states it's $30, $20. Other states it could be all the way up to $120, $240 for that half hour. It just really depends on where you're at, and you have to check with that specific state. I know Alaska it's $120. Oregon, it's $35. I just went through this process actually this last month. So that's pretty much all I got on that part. Do you have any questions?
I'm just still kind of in shock that all of this is going on. So it's kind of one of those things.
Well, I can say this much. Yeah, go ahead, David.
I was going to say it's always a shock. I mean, as long as I've been doing this, when it actually comes to a confrontation that escalates, and especially when it escalates like to this far, I'm always in shock too. So that's a normal reaction.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I've been through 2 court cases, 1 arrest, and getting ready for a possible 3rd case right now. So I can say this much. It's always a shock. I was not expecting, for me, when the U.S. Marshals to encounter something right off the bat where we have documented that people are allowed to legally record outside of a federal building, especially on the property itself, when the rules, allow it kind of thing. And the U.S. Marshals didn't even know their own local rules for that specific courthouse. So I can say this much. Now, instead of doing what I was planning on doing, which is just doing a bunch of filming, now I gotta buckle down and deal with this issue.
And it's time consuming. A lot of people don't understand how much time goes into especially when there's a criminal charge against you, how much time goes into fighting that criminal charge. Everybody's hollering about, civil suits, but they don't understand you've got to deal with the first battle, which is the criminal case, before you can move on to anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing is, in general, in order to get to the civil case, you have to take care of the criminal case first, because that will actually, if you try to file a civil case while the criminal case is still ongoing, the judge will either dismiss it and say file again later, or will say, okay, we accept the case, but it's going to be pending on the results of your criminal case. In which case, then you just spent a bunch of money, and then you're possibly going to either have to throw down additional extra resources and all that stuff. So you just threw away a bunch of cash trying to get the ball rolling too early.
Well, and even if you're convicted, you may still have a case, a civil case.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and not to mention also there's the appeals levels too with the criminal case. Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
That's what I was going to tell him. If you take this and you think not guilty and you go to court, you're probably going to lose there. Expect that, all right? Hopefully they'll drop it before it ever gets there. Expect to have to go to a higher court, appeals or something, to get something done. This is like David was saying, it's going to take time, and it may take a lot of time. We'll do what we can to help you. Don't know exactly what that will be right now. We will be talking about it amongst us as time goes, and
you have till November 28th. I have to go before Judge Bishop at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, that's just an arraignment. That's nothing.
Yeah. That's literally, they go in, they they tell you what charges you're being charged with, and it might be possible at that point that the prosecutor says we're going to go ahead and dismiss the case before you even have to put in your plea. It could be you put in your plea, and then they set the court date, and then like a month out or even a few weeks out, well, a week out from when you're supposed to go into court for the actual trial, they'll drop the charges. You'll get a piece of letter in the mail saying, oh yeah, the charge has been dropped or whatever.
And don't be surprised if they do all kinds of shit to fuck your head. All right, lie about you. Just
they're already doing that.
Yeah, go to work and annoy your boss. You already told me your boss is cool. So,
yeah, my boss says they're not getting anything without a warrant, so I'm good.
They may try to find something else to threaten to charge you with. You never can tell about these people.
And I really recommend, if there is any false accusations or anything like that thrown at you by the police department, document it, because that can actually help your civil case, and also maybe expand the civil case to include defamation charges. Defamation and defamation damages.
Right.
Go look at the comments section. Go look at the comments section of the Tyrant alert that I put out this morning on my channel. Go through the comments section there. You can find people that are saying what they're saying, and then take screenshots of that, and then you'll be able to contact those people if need be.
Yeah, that their testimony might be usable within the courts, and I'm pretty sure some of those people would have no problem getting on the stand and say, yeah, this is what they told me. So it'll be a mixed bag kind of thing, but I'm pretty sure there'll be a few people that'd be up for that did get told whatever slanderous stuff that they said over the phone or whatever to them. On top of that, also the police department has taken down their Facebook page. One of the first things I did was check on Am I Free to Go real fast to see if your video was up on there, and sure enough, it was already on there. And I checked the comments section for that posting, and someone had a listing of all the information there for contact details for the police department, the city, the local news agency, and all that stuff. So don't be surprised if you get a call from the local news company about the want to interview about that case. But nonetheless,
how should I conduct that?
Just tell the truth. Just tell the truth, and I can tell you they've already talked to the sheriff.
Yeah, tell what happened, exactly how it is. Do not give any additional details or anything like that. Just go with what happened, what's on the video, and what are the facts. Also record the entire interview. I really recommend this. They're going to record it. They're going to end up cutting it down to maybe about 1 or 2 sound bites that's going to be from you for maybe a 3-minute report on the news agency if they decide to roll it. And it's best that you record all that, and you can put that entire interview on your channel. So this way, if people are concerned about the context, or if the context comes out bad, or they try to mislabel you or do selective editing with it, all that stuff, you can say, here's the full interview. I have it recorded right here.
And if they say we don't want you to record us, then don't do it.
Yeah,
thank you for that heads up.
That's a giant red flag. I've been dealing with YouTube stuff for a long time, and I'm also keeping a track of certain large personalities that done mainstream interviews and all that stuff. And the biggest recommendation is if it doesn't sound good, where they're not going to let you record or something like that, or they're going to get really defensive about something, that's usually a red flag that you shouldn't really do that interview, and just pass it off and continue on or whatever.
Yes, sir.
But yeah. Dang, I lost my train of thought. There was something else I wanted to say. I'll probably remember here in a minute. But dang it.
Well, while you're thinking, David, is there anything you want to add?
No. I think he did a pretty good job.
I agree.
The whole pat down thing, I understand. I've done it myself before. I'm less inclined to do it these days. However, if you thought that was what needed to be done to de-escalate things, I saw that deputy standing there with his hand on his gun, and usually in a situation like that, again, you're going to have people that'll attack you for it. But if you thought that that's what needed to be done to de-escalate things, hey, you worry about your safety first. Your safety comes first. And, you know, if you take heat for that, well, like I said, most of these people have never been in this situation, and they don't understand exactly how dangerous it can be. I mean, you're dealing with people literally that can pull his gun out, shoot you dead right there, and all he has to do is say, well, I feared for my life. He had his hand in his pocket. I didn't know what he was reaching for, and get away with it.
Well,
you know?
I mean, just recently we had that one mainstream media press photographer who got shot by that one cop.
Yep.
And the cop knew who he was and still shot him.
Yeah.
So it's you on the street.
Your safety always comes first. You're the guy there on the scene that can see everything and judge the mood of the situation. You follow your gut. And anybody that gives you a hard time about that later on, well, you know, just like football, you got those armchair warriors, you know.
Yeah, you're the one out there doing it. It's up to you to do it your way. Handle it
you're the one that's going to get arrested and have to go through the criminal charges and make bonds and sit in jail and go through all of that. It's your call, nobody else's.
That's right.
Well, see, that's why I was trying to be nice. I was trying to be polite. I don't feel that I was being disrespectful at any.
You weren't.
No, I thought you did. I thought you did really good, but you know, to the police, you know, you're not complying with what they want, and they see that as you know, being uncooperative. You know, asserting your rights is what you're doing, but to them, you're being uncooperative and disrespectful and all of that. And
cops like that are used to having their butts kissed and getting their own dang way, and they'll do whatever they want. They don't care about the Constitution or the law. They just want you to kiss butt.
And they have no consequences. I don't know how that sheriff is.
Anything I say about what went on inside the jail is all hearsay. But, I mean, I had the deputy chief of police telling me, oh, Itawamba County doesn't recognize the First Amendment. That doesn't mean anything here.
I believe it.
I mean,
I realize it's just hearsay, and there's no way he's ever going to admit to that.
The other day, I had that video.
I can tell you that I've requested a bunch of the videos, including any jail videos, and sometimes those have audio. You never know. Body cam footage, auto footage, reports. I've requested all of it. So, you know, we'll see what they do about it. I'm not sure how liberal the laws are for public records requests in Mississippi, but I put in a request for a whole bunch of stuff, and then we'll see what they do next.
I bet Teresa knows about them, how well they do on that in Mississippi.
Yeah,
I don't know. She's in Louisiana, not Mississippi.
Yeah, but she's next door. She probably knows, but I'll find out. I'll talk to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on top of that, that's what I just remember exactly what I was going to say earlier. The legal fight. This is going to take a while, and I'm going to point to a couple of good examples. The ACLU case out of New York. That settlement with DHS took about 9 or 10 months from start to finish, and that cost $37,000 in legal fees. Yeah, so the thing is finding a lawyer that's going to be able to handle this case. It's not just also on the aspect of do they have the capability, but do they have the resources, the monetary resources going to be available to them? Some lawyers are able to take that hit. Other lawyers cannot take that hit, and they'll probably ask for a decent amount of money up front, or a retainer kind of fee set up. In which case, you're going to have to re-up it or refill that after so many months or whatever because it gets worn out. But the thing is, that's just on a small case. And it was that the Turner v. Driver case, which went into appeals. That case took almost, 2 years, I think it was?
2 years and $30,000.
2 years and $30,000. So he got lucky with, $30,000. So, but here's the nice advantage, though. The Turner case, you guys said Mississippi was 5th District, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Guess what? You are the first test case after Turner v. Driver now.
Exactly.
You have the I guess you could say the primo case where there was a recent case law established this year on this issue where they don't have qualified immunity at this point.
Well, you're wrong. He's got to get in line behind me at Pineville.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Okay,
Yeah.
so, okay, you're the second case. So you and David are the two big one.
David,
big
I would be happy
enforcers.
to be number 2 next to you.
Now this could be a very important these cases, because we could scare the hell out of these cops if this goes through and you get a settlement and they get in trouble, and either one of y'all or both of y'all get their immunity ripped from them and you go after their own pockets. That can be enough to wake these guys up and tell them we got to.
Well, see, the whole thing is they know the case law is there.
Right.
What they're counting on is nobody having the funding to bring the fight to them.
That's why
And I
I'm
had to borrow
hoping we
money
can
from
help
everybody
him.
that I know to get out.
Yeah.
That's why I'm hoping we can help him as things progress. We might be able to put some support his way to guide him through this thing and do whatever we can, because I feel like it is an important case.
Oh yeah. All three of us, I mean, the three of us right now do have important cases going on that is going to require, I mean, raising funds to take these fights to the law enforcement agents that are breaking the law for the most part, or breaking their policies, breaking federal regulations, case law, all that stuff. And unfortunately, there's only so much money that can go around. So, I mean, I know I wish I could help Bankai there with his case financially, but unfortunately for me, I have to put all my financial resources into my case.
Yeah, but I'm talking about
the same thing too.
Yeah, I'm kind of talking about our supporters might be able to.
Yeah, and I do, and I'm just laying this out that, I mean, I try to support people when I can and all that stuff. I've thrown out money to the EFF, the ACLU, and fire agencies that are dealing with civil rights stuff across the country. When I have a few extra bucks here and there, something like that. I do try to, support other people too. When I have a few extra bucks, throw it their way and all that stuff. It's just unfortunately, for me, that is a very rare time to have that extra money to do that kind of stuff.
Well, as many subscribers as we got, if we got each one of them to give $1, that would blow. Yeah. You'd probably be enough to fund all of y'all's cases.
Y'all want to hear something funny? I told y'all that I'm parked where the sheriff's department usually parks when they take a break.
Do you have company?
Yeah, I've got company. They're like sitting right in front of me here, parked. I'm trying to think of how to turn this camera around so you can see it. And they know it's me. They know it's me. They're looking at, the deputy pulled up. I know who he is. He looked right at me, so they know it's me standing here. They probably think I'm here to ambush them with a camera.
But you were there first.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You're baiting them, right? Must be parking in a parking lot.
Yeah. But as is, though, all of us sort of have a very strong cases going on, and I hope, we all are successful in our specific cases that we got, especially News Now there, who actually, I think, how many cases you got going on? You got El Paso, the one you mentioned, isn't there a third?
The Shell case, the lawyer said it's not worth pursuing. He said it was most likely wouldn't go through. Now, Philip's side of that would be different because of how they did him. But in my instance, he says it's not going to happen. He said it's not worth pursuing. He said we might get a judgment, but that the financial reward is going to be $0 or $1 or whatever. So currently, the 1st of September, El Paso, on the FBI El Paso thing, we served the Justice Department with a demand letter. They have 90 days to respond. And at that point, depending upon what the response is, we'll go ahead with the lawsuit. The demand letter demanded $500,000 in damages. The other thing is Pineville. As soon as I wrap up the criminal case, the Louisiana National Guard and the Pineville Police Department are going to get a visit from a civil lawyer as well. The National Guard had 0 authority to come off base and bother me, nothing. And the well, there's some other issues. I don't want to go all off into that.
Yeah,
but,
don't give out any
yeah.
more detail than what you need to do. That's also
Yeah.
one of my other emphasis. Bankai, if you're going to end up talking about your caves, try to stick just to what is publicly known. Don't give any additional information out. That can be difficult for someone who's very talkative and stuff like that. That's, I mean, part of the reason why silent treatment's not really done too well by a lot of people that say, oh, I'm going to give them the silent treatment, or I'm going to just not say anything, and then the next thing you know, not even a minute and a half later, they start yapping.
Yeah, we see all of that.
It's actually a fairly, it requires a decent amount of discipline. Yeah, I don't think David there could
don't understand how hard it is to do the silent treatment if you've never tried.
No, they don't.
Really don't. They don't know.
Yeah, as I said, it's one of those things that very few people pull off. And the thing is I mean, there's many situations where the silent treatment is actually going to be more detrimental than good. And so that's why there's only a small amount of videos that I have that involve silent treatment. So, I mean, when you start getting an issue where you got a confrontation with the police or some sort of law enforcement person or possibly a private security personnel, that you're going to have to, you might have to sort of speak out because you got to voice or say something in order to either defuse the situation or de-escalate or something like that, because you might be...
I was trying to de-escalate the situation. I was explaining my point repeatedly to him. I don't see why he didn't get it.
He got it.
He didn't
care.
He
got it. He just didn't care.
You didn't do what he wanted. You didn't kiss his butt, and it pissed him off.
Yeah,
so
and the thing
back at you.
Yeah, and the thing is they didn't think you were a big fish or you didn't have outreach or anything like that. That's part of the reason why me and P&P and a few other people, we try to keep an eye on these smaller channels and stuff like that, because you're the ones that are most at risk when you get started of having these cases and then getting railroaded by the courts and the police at the same time.
They have spent years picking on people who had no voice, and now it's changing, and they, until they get caught, they just keep doing it business as usual. So they picked on you because you're nobody. And now they realize that you may be a nobody, but you know some somebodies. And
so not always what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that is what got them, got their butts in a crack today. And that's why their Facebook page is gone and their Twitter is locked down and their website is off, is because, not because what you did, but because they don't want everybody to know what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's exactly it right there. And I mean, people are hitting the Google review page right now. If they have any social media presence, that's getting slammed. And if it hasn't been locked down, it probably will be locked down at some point.
Even the city has turned off their Facebook page.
Oh, the city turned.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't even checked the cities. As I said, I just learned about this. David says it. I'll believe him at this point.
I'm not denying that.
Yeah.
What?
But as this is what happened is they stirred up the hornet's nest, and that's part of the reason why we try to keep an eye on the new channels. I have this giant subscription list of YouTube channels of people that have done like 1 or 2 videos and stuff like that, and I try to keep an eye on them when I can. I'm not always. I can't glue myself to the computer to monitor all these feeds. I got other work to tend to and other things to deal with. But nonetheless, I try to keep my eye out there. That's a reason why I make sure I keep my eyes glued to Am I Free to Go on Reddit there, because if something big happens, if someone sees it or whatever, it gets thrown up on there too. And if all of a sudden it's up like maybe 3 hours and it's up 10 to 50 upvotes or something like that, I know something's going on. It's a hot case. I need to look at it real fast, kind of thing.
Right, and a lot of people don't realize it, but I'm on Reddit as well. I'll comment. I don't usually go over everybody's videos, but I got a lot of subscribers that are on there that'll comment, and I try to respond to them when possible. And if I see something blowing up on Reddit, I'll look into it. This particular instance, this particular video, I think Steve came on it last night. I saw just a glimpse of it last night right before I went to bed, I guess it was. But when I got up this morning, I had 10 emails and half a dozen messages on YouTube saying, look at this, look at this, look at this. And as soon as I pulled it up and looked at the whole video, I was like, oh, hell no.
Yeah, exactly. That. Yeah, pretty much when I learned about it 2 hours ago, I sat down. I was like, Steve gave me a call there, and I was like, "Wait, what's going on?" I'm like, "Okay," because I just sort of woke up. I got a really messed up sleep schedule right now, but I was sitting there like, "Okay, I'll check it out, and I'll be ready to go here in a little bit." And as soon as I watched it, I was just like, "Yeah, that's straight up civil rights violation right there." Yeah, I mean that is literally some. I mean. If you got a really good, you got a decent lawyer, they're going to be able to slam dunk this case in the courts. Most likely, what you're going to end up running into is a settlement when you push the civil case, because of how bad the video makes them look. And your video, there's nothing that needs to be done with it or anything like that. It shows exactly what it is. You got all of their words and all that stuff, so it clearly shows that they violated your rights. I don't see any kind of thing they can dispute on that issue.
Agreed.
Okay, guys, I got to jump off of here.
Okay, I think it's gone long enough anyway.
Yeah. All right, so Jonathan, you be careful.
Yes, sir.
Watch your back.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah.
Think about where you're at. Pay attention to what's going on around you, and because it's a very good possibility there may be some retaliation. If you have any trouble at all, call Steve. Steve will give you my number, whatever. But if you have any problems at all, you let me know.
Yes, sir. I will do. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you haven't met me yet, but little video conference.
Close enough.
All right, guys. All right, y'all be safe, and I'll see y'all again soon.
All right. Okay, guys. I think that wraps this one up.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you. Hopefully, everything will be straightened out in time. It's going to take time, so try not to let it affect you too much. Some people stress over these things a lot, so just be careful and try not to stress too much, and you'll get through this.
Yeah, how should I put it? If you do any more filming, just try not to, pile on too many cases or anything like that. I did actually a video recently about that kind of thing. Is just don't push yourself too far. Don't think that you need to go make more videos and all that stuff. If you want to make some more videos, maybe talk about the research that you've done of the case laws you've looked at and stuff like that. But
enough footage for like 3 more, and that'll hold me for at least 3 weeks, because I try to space them out over a week span here and a week span there, just to try to make it look like I'm doing more than I actually am.
Yeah. I'd stay out of that county doing any more.
Oh, I'm like, I have no reason to
that county.
It's fine.
Every sheriff deputy there will know who you are, and
I'm sure they do.
They will probably try to jack you up, or there's a good chance that 1 or 2 of them might try to jack you up. So be careful, and I just stay out of that county and do my videoing someplace else if you feel the need. My advice.
Thank you. I'll take that.
Yeah.
All right. I want to call an end to this.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for being here, Jonathan, Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
And when you come back to Texas,
you, Bunny.
Oh, when I'm coming back to Texas, I might. I got to finish up this. Well, I got to at least get this Marshall case either on the tracks and dealt with, or on its way being dealt with, before I do any major traveling or anything like that. Because, as I said, most of my money is going into this right now. So.
All right.
Totally understand that.
All right, guys. I'm going to end this recording.